Okay, it's your boy, the one and only Ghetto Casper, back at it again with another video. Today we're gonna be doing a reaction to the 2010 All-Decade Team in the NFL. Me and my bro PB will be reacting to who made the list versus who actually should have made the list at certain positions. So we about to get into it, man. First off, they start off with the quarterbacks on the offensive side. Number one is Tom Brady. You feel like Tom Brady should have made it, bro?
Yeah.
All right. I feel like I feel like Tom Brady should have made it too, because
established so much in his career.
Yep. Because in the 2010s he had like 3 Super Bowl rings, I think, and like 2 MVPs, if I'm not mistaken, or at least one. I know Tom Brady at least had 1 MVP in the 2010s. But yeah. All right, now this might be the part where we feel like he shouldn't have made it, but at the same time he should have made it. But my bro Aaron Rodgers.
He's good. He's good. He ain't got one ring though. That's against us, the Steelers.
Yeah, but at the same time, man, after all the quarterbacks that they snubbed out for Aaron Rodgers, I feel like he should have made it. But at the same time, I don't, just because you still have Drew Brees. Even though I'm a Saints fan, I will give you valid reasons of why he should have made it and why he maybe shouldn't have made it. The reasons he should have is because, like, he led the league like 3 years or 4 years in a row with like 5,000 passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, as a quarterback stands for that, man. Like, that's an actual quarterback accolade. Like, that should not go like undescribed, for real, man. Like, a Super Bowl, yeah, I understand you won a Super Bowl. Drew Brees won a Super Bowl too, but they're not counting that because they'll say it's like 2009, but really it was like the beginning of 2010. But yeah, they shouldn't like have that against him, for real. And then also, y'all forget about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson got into the league in like 2012, but he won him a Super Bowl. He's changed the league, really. I think he's only like a 5'11" quarterback, man. And he's basically doing everything Aaron Rodgers is doing without less weapons. Like, for real, like, yeah, y'all can name some of Russell Wilson's receivers, bro, but Russell Wilson has not had an actual star receiver like Aaron Rodgers. And if you think I'm lying, I want you guys to drop down below who Russell Wilson's star receiver was. Because, yeah, he had Doug Ball when he was alright as a slot receiver. He was cool. And then now he has Tyler Lockett. But at the same time, bro, come on. Y'all know these ain't like, they're not even like top 10 receivers, for real. I can name 10 better receivers, for real. Like, come on. And Doug Baldwin had to retire before he turned like 30, I think. Now, the very first person at running back, we have Frank Gore. How you feel about that, bro?
He's a good running back. I'm trying to think what else. I know he's a good running back, bro. He's good for it.
Yeah.
He's not a bad running back at all.
That's the thing, too. A lot of people sleep on Frank Gore. You can't sleep on Frank Gore, man.
He's a beast.
Because if you look at his rushing stats from all the time, bro, like all time, bro, I think he's like top 3. I think he's like top 3. If I'm not mistaken. If I'm mistaken, drop down below if you watch this video how many rushing yards he has and what place he's in. And now, the second running back we're going to go down is to Marshawn Lynch. Now, how you feel about that one, bro? You know he go crazy. It's a reason he's beast mode. Yup.
He's there for a reason. He's a dog, bro. He's a dog, bro.
Now, one thing I got that's making me mad about Marshawn Lynch, though, bro, is that he did my Saints team very dirty in the playoffs, man. He did us dirty in the playoffs, man. Like, like, so many defenders on our team tried to tackle him, bro, and he still scored, bro. It was like our whole defense tried to tackle him, bro. Like, that makes me so mad, man. Like, come on now. And, guys, if it looks like I'm looking into the camera sometimes and not, it's because I'm looking at the list while also trying to show you guys my attention to you guys. But I'm just trying to look at the list so we can pay attention and go in actual order and not have me mess up the list with my bro P. So, our second running back is LaShawn McCoy. I don't have too much to say about LaShawn. Besides, he was a good running back in the tens. If I could remember, I think he was still playing with the Eagles for like 2 years in the tens. But if I can't, I just can't, man. Ain't too much to say about LaShawn McCoy for me. How about you, P?
What to say about him? He's good.
Yeah, ain't too much to say about LaShawn McCoy, man. He was when he was with the Eagles. He was a monster, though. I'll give you guys that. He was a monster. Adrian Peterson. Now I got a lot to say about him, man, because he's a monster, bro. Like if you talking about Marshawn Lynch with beast mode, bro, he was really he was beast mode for real for the Vikings and stuff, man. He won an MVP for them too. He was leading them to the playoffs until he tore his ACL and stuff. Now, one disappointment that I have with Adrian Peterson that I wish he could have did was actually stay with my team, and I wish the Saints would have never released him because I personally I feel like he could have helped us out, but at the same time when we did have Adrian Peterson, we also had Mark Ingram, so it was at this thing where Adrian Peterson was the third running back to come off the bench, but I still feel like he could have helped us somewhat, even though he's not a good catching back. Because at that time, too, we had Alvin Kamara. So, I can understand why we released him. What about you, P, bro?
You talking about AP?
Yup, Adrian Peterson, bro.
Oh, he's a beast, bro. He still got it in him, bro. Plus, he's not really that old.
No.
He's not in his 30s, right?
Yeah. And he played, last season, I think, matter of fact, let me look it up on my phone real quick for you guys. I think he had a good rushing season for the Redskins.
I think he did. Yeah. I think he broke a record rushing yards.
Yeah, I think he had. Yeah, for his age and stuff, bro, he had just 211 attempts for almost 1,000 yards. He had 898 yards, which is actually kind of good for him, and 5 touchdowns. And you also got to think they had guys from LSU who didn't play that season, but I think he played a couple of games until he got hurt. But they had him too, who was actually supposed to be their starting running back. So you got to take that into consideration and stuff like that too. But okay, let's move on to AB, bro. How you feel about AB from an actual Steelers fan, man?
AB was a great receiver. He could catch, get open. He's just a good receiver overall. He's just a great receiver, bro. Like I said, he catch it open. He broke records. He broke receiving yard records too. He's a top 5 receiver.
All right, I feel you on that, man. AB, I got a lot of respect for AB, man. He's a great receiver, great route runner. I think he's only 5'10". For that, bro, to be a speedy, nice route runner, can run any type of routes. I'm telling you, I used to play football, so I know. For you to be able to run a comeback route in your touchdown, when you're on 5 yards near your touchdown, to run a comeback route in the touchdown, man, that's pretty impressive. Because, a comeback route is kind of you need at least 10 to maybe 15 yards on a comeback route. So that's kind of impressive for him to actually be able to run a comeback route with only 5 yards. Now let's talk about the most consistent receiver. I feel like in the slot position that has the best hands to me. Well, one of the greatest hands. I'm not gonna say the best hands in the league now. I feel like Michael Thomas has those now, but one of the best hands of all time. My man, the one and only Larry Fitzgerald. How you feel about Larry Fitz, P?
Larry. Oh, man. This dude's a beast. Even though we beat him in the Super Bowl, I say that's why he just got a ring.
Yep.
But he's a great route runner. He can open to be amongst people, of course, because he's tall.
Yes, sir.
He can catch, got hands. Like I say, he should have a ring, though. No cap, he should have a ring.
I feel like he should too. The time he was playing, he really ain't had no quarterback. I'll say Carson Palmer was an alright quarterback. I forget who else he played with. I think he played with Kurt Warner for a couple of years, but he really ain't played with Kurt Warner was getting ready to leave the league. So Larry Fitz really never played with no quarterbacks. Now he actually has kind of a good quarterback, but he's only in his second year, so. And then now Larry Fitz is almost out of the league, so I wish he would have been able to maybe come in the league now so he could actually play with the actual quarterback, but it's cool, man. Now, the next receiver I'm going to talk about is the one and only, man. I feel like he's a top 5 receiver of all time and had to cut his career short because the Detroit Lions just freaking sucked. Was my man Calvin Johnson, man. Like, he was Julio Jones before Julio Jones.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, if you don't understand what I'm saying, I understand that you might not understand because you might not be old enough to understand that. But he was Julio Jones before Julio Jones, but he was actually a better version of Julio Jones. Like, real talk, man. Like, I think he was the only receiver to get near, like, 2,000 yards and stuff like that, bro. Like, I'm telling you guys, man, when I'm telling you, I'm not going to lie to you, man. He was Julio Jones before Julio. Like, it's a reason he's a top 5 receiver of all time. In that list with Randy Moss and Fitz and all of them, it's a reason he's in that list, man. I wish he would have been able to get a ring. And matter of fact, I wish he would be able to come back to the league and actually play for a team that he would be good with. But you know how the Detroit Lions are. They don't want to allow that to happen. They did that to Barry Sanders. The Detroit Lions are the only team I know of that actually have a bunch of good players and then just make their whole team trash around a bunch of good players so they can't go anywhere. But yeah. How you feel about Calvin Johnson, man?
Basically what you said. He's just a good receiver, bro. Everything you just said, that's basically true.
Alright, now this is where some of you guys might hate me and then some of you guys might understand what I'm going to. But I'm going to pull up proof where I feel like this should be. Julio Jones, if anybody knows me, they know Julio Jones is one of my favorite receivers, and I would back Julio up. But at the same time, for him to be the very last receiver in the 2010s All-Decade Team roster, I feel like Julio Jones is one of the best receivers in the league now and through the 2010s. But at the same time, this dude that I'm about to say right now, I feel like a lot of people aren't giving him respect. And he was really one of the best route runners when he was younger. And I'm not even going to lie, had one of the most dominant hands in the league, man. And he would go up and snatch the ball out of your hands, man. Like, he was crazy with it. But if you don't know who I'm talking about, man, I'm talking about the one and only, my man, Dez Bryant. Now, I don't understand why a lot of people sleep on Dez. I really don't, because Dez Bryant really was a good receiver. At the same time, I give Julio his respect, because Julio is one of my favorite receivers in the league right now. But at the same time, too, you got to give Dez Bryant his props, because Dez Bryant, I don't care what anybody says, bro. He caught that ball against the Packers. I think it was in 2012 in the playoffs. That could have got them to the championship and stuff. He deserved that catch, man. He deserved it. Him, Tony Romo, DeMarco Murray, they should have made it to the championship, man. But for him not to get the respect he deserves is just crazy. Like, to have receiving yards at 7,459 with 73 touchdowns. 73 touchdowns, man. That is freaking crazy, man. Like, Julio, I think, only has like 50 something. For him to have 73 touchdowns, that is crazy. Now, P, how do you feel about Julio Jones? Do you feel like there's any other receiver that deserves Julio's spot? Or do you feel like Julio should stay in the top 10? The 2010s All-Decade Team.
Oh, no, but you said Dez Bryant was in 2010?
Yeah, Dez Bryant, his 2010s was like the craziest years, bro. That was like Dez Bryant, bro. Like, as a top receiver.
Oh, okay.
That's when, like, they were saying, like, Dez Bryant and Tony Romo were, like, the best duos.
Yeah, that's a good question, because Dez Bryant was a good receiver, bro.
Yes, he was,
like I said,
man.
Julio was a good receiver, too, but I don't know. Dez Bryant, I don't know, bro. That's a hard question right now. I can't really answer that question, bro.
See? That's what I'm saying, man. But I'll give Julio his props. Like I said, Julio is one of my favorite receivers. He's one of my favorite receivers. But I feel like what Dez Bryant did in the 2010s, and people not giving him his props, he deserves it. Like, he deserves to be in that list. But, they not going to give him his props because he tore his ACL last year when he was supposed to play for my team, the Saints. And then I feel like people are just hating on him because he didn't sign with the Ravens. Like, personally, that's how I feel. Another thing, guys, I'm gonna let you guys know because I didn't play like O-line and stuff like that. I played like receiver and stuff, so I can't go off of O-line stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Like I don't know anything like that. Like, I know pancakes and stuff. If you play football and you're an O-lineman, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I know y'all's pancakes and all that stuff like matter, but I can't like explain that to everybody else because I really can't explain it because I didn't play that position, so I don't really know about that position and know about who's like better than the O linemen that they named on here. So I'm gonna leave and say all those O linemen that they put on there are in the right spots. Now let's talk about the tight ends. I feel like both tight ends are respectable and both deserved it because Rob Gronkowski, man, I think he won like 4 Super Bowl rings in the 2010s. I think so, like 4. So yeah, for sure he deserves it. How you feel about Rob?
Rob?
Yup.
Rob.
From the Pats.
Ooh, he's a good tight end. He came in the league good. He came in the league good, did he?
Yeah, he came in the league great, man.
Yeah, he's a great tight end. He's big. He's hard to tackle. Catch.
Yeah,
hard to tackle,
for sure. Now, one thing I can say about Rob, though, that I hate that had to happen with, like, most football players, if you understand, I hate that how many concussions he had. Because without them concussions, I'm telling you, Rob probably would have still been in the league. And maybe the Patriots could have did something last year, but Tom Brady had no help. So, can't really say too much. Now, let's talk about my man, the Chiefs' greatest tight end. I don't care what anybody has to say about Tony Gonzalez, because everybody knows him from like the Falcons for real, but they also know him from the Chiefs, But my man Travis Kelce, man, the best tight end in the league to me. Right behind him is George Kittle, but right now he's the best tight end in the league, man. To me, he's like the only tight end that's really steady and consistent at tight end that's getting 1,000 yards every freaking season. And he just won a Super Bowl this past year, man. So, how you feel about my man Travis Kelce?
Travis Kelce.
Yes, sir.
He's a great tight end. He catch. He gets open. He does get open for a tight end. I know he does get open though. He's like I said, he's great route runner for a tight end.
Yes, he is.
I think so, yeah.
All right.
He got speed too.
Oh yeah, don't sleep on his speed.
He got speed for it too.
Now that's one thing I gotta say about Madden. Y'all need to fix y'all's ratings, man. Give my dude Travis Kelce a little more speed, man. Come on, man. Like, and y'all need to give him a new card. Like, I'm sorry I'm ranting right now, but come on, man. Like, for the people that play Ultimate Team know what I'm talking about, man. Travis Kelce is the best tight end in the league, and I think his highest card is a 95 right now, and it's his playoff card. So please give my man a higher rated card. P, do you want to go through D ends and D tackles? I'm not that good with that, but do you want to? Because I know I'm not going to know anything. I'm going to just give reasons why I feel like they should be there, but at the same time, I'm not really going to know. Like, the only D tackles and stuff.
They get off the edge and tackle. They get off the edge fast, like the quarterback.
See, yeah, but the only people that I can really talk about on the D tackle side, for real, I could talk about Ndamukong Suh, because I ain't gonna lie, he used to go crazy, man. Don't sleep on him when he was with the Lions. He was crazy. Aaron Donald, best defensive player in the league. Yes, I said defensive player. Fletcher Cox. Yeah, he's still good for the Eagles. Geno Atkins. Please leave the Bengals, man. You deserve better. You deserve better, bro. Come on, you deserve better. J.J. Watt, I ain't gonna lie, bro. If you didn't stay getting hurt, you would still be the best defensive player in the league. But you're always hurt for like some reason. But I understand how football is, so I can understand how you stay hurt. Julius Peppers, I don't remember that much about you, but I know you go crazy, man. Especially when you were with the Panthers. Cameron Jordan, Saints fan right here, man. I love you, man. Please stay with us, man. Because in my mind, man, you doing something down there in that front seven, man. Making stuff way easier for Marshawn Lattimore to catch picks. And Calais Campbell, I respect your decision to leave them Jaguars, man. Because, man, I don't know what they was doing. Y'all went from the best defense in the league, bro. They went from the best defense in the league to like to the year after that. Like, what happened? Like, for real. Like, I don't know what happened, man. But I'm glad you left and went to the Ravens. I hope you can do something there and help in the locker room to get Lamar Jackson ready for this up and coming season, so he can actually finally win a playoff game instead of choking in the playoffs. But
2 years in a row.
Yeah, 2 years in a row he choked. But I can understand the rookie year. It's your rookie year. You really don't know that much. But at the same time, come on, man. You was the MVP of the league. And I think y'all lost to the Titans when y'all just talking all that stuff about how y'all would shut down Derrick Henry, which y'all didn't. But Calais Campbell, I feel like will be a good front seven person that can actually help the Ravens out and get their defense to go somewhere. All right, now let's talk about the linebackers. I'm gonna skip Chandler Jones because I don't know too much about Chandler Jones, and he plays like I think right outside linebacker, and I really don't know that much about the right outside linebackers all like that. But I'm gonna go with my man, the one and only that had to cut his career short, and I'm kind of disappointed. And I love playing against him. As a Saints fan, I love playing against him because he was a quarterback as a linebacker, man. Like, real talk. Like, he knew your plays, and he did, like, all of that, man. And then I knew every time we played the Panthers, it was going to be a good game because of him. And that's my man, Luke Kuechly. I wish he never had to get hurt and had to deal with all the concussions and stuff like that because I feel like Luke Kuechly actually deserved the ring, and he had to cut his career short because of that. But I hope, I hope that you can come back maybe 2 years later after you retired for a little bit and got your mind right. And maybe say forget the Panthers and just come join the Saints, man. Just come join the Saints, man. We can build with you, man, on that defense, man. Please, man, listen to me. If you watch this, man, please come join us, man. We need you, man, at that linebacker, man. You and Demario Davis might be able to do something there at that linebacker position. How you feel about my man Luke Kuechly, man?
Luke Kuechly was a dog, but fast, good tackle. He can read plays good. Offense plays good. He's a beast, bro. I love Luke Kuechly too. He's a great player.
Yeah.
Great linebacker. One of the best linebackers.
Yeah. Like, for real, I feel like he really could have been, like, the greatest middle linebacker of all time if this did not have to get cut short. Like, real talk.
Right, bro. For sure you put that, bro. He's a dog.
And, now, Khalil Mack. Alright. I will give you your props because you did something crazy that a lot of defensive players I know that probably couldn't do this. And you deserve to be on this 2010s All-Decade team because a lot of defensive players couldn't have did what you did when you were with the Raiders. And then you got a lot of sacks when you were with the Raiders. And I feel like if the Raiders would have been able to actually have the right team with the right coach and stuff like that, you, Amari Cooper, Derek Carr, and all that, y'all could have went somewhere and did something. But I feel like y'all's coaches didn't know what to do in the draft and stuff like that. Y'all didn't know who to get in the draft, so y'all always picked up the wrong people, or y'all would sign the wrong people in free agency. So I'm actually glad that you went to the Bears. I feel like after the Bears just now picked up Nick Foles, your defense can help your offense even more. But yeah, how you feel about Khalil Mack on the 2010s All-Decade team?
He's fast. He comes up the edge fast. He's a great sack leader. Like this nigga, does he be in the second league or not?
Yeah, I think he did that before. I think he even got a defensive player of the year if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he deserves that. Von Miller, Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP. Matter of fact, I feel like he might actually be able to lead the league in sacks this year. But let me just be quiet. Yeah, Von Miller really deserves this. He's really deserving of this list. Just from being the Super Bowl MVP and what he did in that Super Bowl versus the Panthers, and being like a defensive player of the year type caliber player and stuff like that. He deserved this list. How you feel about Von Miller?
Von Miller, he's a beast. He's a good. There's no linebacker. He's fast. His agility's good. He gets the quarterback pass.
Yeah.
Nice sack. He can sack good. You know, he's overall good linebacker.
And now I'm gonna talk about my dude Bobby Wagner. Now, because Luke Kuechly had to cut his career short, this is another linebacker I feel like for the Seahawks that can actually become the greatest middle linebacker of all time, and that's Bobby Wagner. He's good in coverage, meaning in zone coverage, because the Seahawks play a lot of zone, so I feel like he can catch a lot more picks if he can read more, like if he studies a lot more. I know he studies a lot because I know a lot of you that don't watch football don't understand how much studying goes into a football player's life with practice and stuff. But I feel like if he gets on like the Luke Kuechly studying side, where he's like just studying a lot and can like just call out what they're about to make in their play, like what play it is, I feel like he really can be like the greatest middle linebacker of all time. He won a Super Bowl with the Seahawks in the 2010s all decade, so he deserves it. He really does. How you feel about Bobby Wagner, P?
He's a good linebacker too. He really is a good linebacker. He has speed. He's fast. I don't know. I feel like he'll be the offensive players. You think so?
You said what? You say you feel like he does read them?
Yeah, you think so or no?
I feel like he does because at the linebacker position, all right, I'm gonna tell you guys, if you have not played football before, the main person that calls out the plays on the defensive side are like the strong safeties. So the strong safeties are mainly the ones that call out the plays, and sometimes the linebackers will call out the plays. Because the linebackers will call out sometimes the plays for the linebackers and stuff like that. Because the strong safeties and stuff, the safeties will call out the plays for the safeties and the corners and stuff. But at the same time, the safeties will call out the plays for the linebackers to tell them what coverage they're in and what will or like stuff to get into. So, but the thing about Luke Kuechly was actually the defensive, like the coordinator on the field, bro. So he was actually like the one that was calling out the plays, and you could tell he was the one that was calling out the plays. Like he knew what he was doing. Bobby Wagner, I feel like Bobby Wagner is calling out the plays, but before then, I don't feel like he was because he had Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas, and he had Richard Sherman on the team. So at that time, I didn't feel like he was calling out the plays. But now, yeah, I feel like he is. So yeah, now I feel like he is where Luke Kuechly was when he was in the league. I feel like he's reading the offense. So yeah, I'll give him his props for that right now. Patrick Willis, I don't have too much to say about him besides he was a hard hitter and he was one of the best linebackers, but had to cut his time short too with the 49ers. And if he would have been able to stay healthy, I feel like he would have been a great linebacker too, but he had to cut his time short too. How do you feel about P. Willis?
All I say, he was going linebacker too. I don't know what to say about him.
All right, bro. Now let's get into the corner side. I can speak on the corner side because I used to play DB, so I know a little more. Now, the first person I'm gonna talk about, he really deserves it because he was the leader to me on that Cardinals defense for years when he got into the league, and that's my man Patrick Peterson. He did so much for that defense, man. He even led them to playoff games and stuff like that. And anybody that knows the Cardinals now knows, like, they're not that good. They're not. But I feel like he does deserve it, knowing that he mainly plays in man. And for you to play in man coverage as a corner, that is very difficult because all a receiver has to do is hit you with a 1-2 move, and then they're gone. So for you to be able to hold your receiver and hold your own on your side of the field, that's actually nice. So I feel like Patrick Peterson actually deserves it. And let me look up some stuff for you guys. I'm gonna tell you his stats. So like from his like 2010 maybe, if it starts from there. But I'll tell you like some of the picks and stuff he had from then. So from not 2010 because he got in the league in 2011, he had 25 interceptions, which is actually great for a corner who plays man coverage. That's actually great. But people that don't play football would not understand that. They just see what they see on TV. That's why I don't like arguing with certain people over football that have not played the sport because they don't understand it. And for him, he has 438 combined tackles, which is a kind of a lot for a corner, which is a lot really for a corner. But yeah, Pat Pete, man, he deserves it. He deserves it. Pete, how you feel about Patrick Peterson, man?
Dude, he is a dog, bro. He's one of the best corners of all time, for sure.
For sure, man.
He's a great corner. He been, like you say, he's probably one of the best corners for the Cardinals.
For real, and the way he was able to develop, man, so quickly, that's amazing, man. Like his first year in the league, he had 2 interceptions. And if anybody says like the 2011 year, that's actually good because the 2011 year was like one of the best years in football, period. Now I'm not going to talk about this person because I don't know too much about him, but all I'm going to say is the person behind him is better than him. I don't care what anybody has to say, but to me, Richard Sherman is better than Darrelle Revis. Take it how you want it. That's how I feel. Got a problem? Put some stuff down below. Maybe we can start an argument. Maybe you can be where P's at and we can have our own little argument. But I feel like Richard Sherman is better than Darrelle Revis. Yes, I know about Revis Island. No, Richard Sherman's not overrated at all, man. I don't think so. No, not at all, man. Bro, Richard Sherman reminds me of Key, bro. Okay. And the reason I'm saying he reminds me of one of my friends that I used to play football with is because he is so confident in himself, man. That's why people hate him. They hate him because he has confidence in himself and he believes there is nobody better than him and can't do what he's doing. That's why I feel like he deserves to be on this list. And Richard Sherman, like what I just said, Richard Sherman also has won a Super Bowl. And he's in the 2010s, he has made it to 3 Super Bowls, but he only won 1. But it's cool. But Darrelle Revis, I'll give Darrelle Revis his props where it's due. But the 2010 era, I don't think he played that much. So matter of fact, the person I'm gonna sub Darrelle Revis out with, a lot of people might hate me, but I don't care. I'm gonna sub Darrelle Revis out with my man Joe Hayden. Now, Darrelle Revis, I'm about to pull up his stats for you guys, just so you guys don't think I'm lying, because Darrelle Revis didn't really play that much in the 2010s. I'm gonna just keep it real. He really didn't because he was getting older. Let's see something. Matter of fact, alright, here's his stuff on NFL.com. So, the 2010s. Let me see something. Where is his interceptions? Alright. 2010, he did not have any interceptions. 2011, he had 4. So let me add all these up in my head real quick for you guys.
Oh shoot, that's crazy.
He had 15 interceptions through the 2010 years. Okay, only 15. But you also got to put in mind, Darrelle Revis was in the league way longer than the 2010s because that was like Darrelle Revis' older years. And the 2010s is like the years that Joe Hayden actually just got into the league. So I'm going to just put it like that because Joe Hayden got in the league in 2010. And the thing about Joe Hayden, he got in the league in 2010, guys, and just listen. His first year in the league, he had 6 interceptions. 6. Okay. Throughout the 2010s, he had, let me count these up real quick. He had 27 interceptions.
Oh, Darrelle Revis?
No, Joe Hayden.
Joe Hayden. Oh,
Darrelle Revis had 15 interceptions through the 2010s, and Joe Hayden had 27. So, to me, in my point of view, Joe Hayden deserved it more than Darrelle Revis because Darrelle Revis was becoming out of his prime in these years, and Joe Hayden was just now getting into his career and actually deserved it. Which in his just past season, he had 5 interceptions for the Steelers, which made the Steelers a better defense when they got Minkah Fitzpatrick and him playing at his top level. So, to me, Joe Hayden deserved it. I just talked about Richard Sherman because I skipped over Darrelle Revis and went straight to Richard Sherman. So now we're at the safety spot where we're going to talk about Eric Berry. Eric Berry, he deserved it, but I can't really put too much onto his career because of the cancer part, which took out most of his career. But Eric Berry was one of the most dominant safeties that was in the league at that time. But like I said, I can't put too much onto his career because of the cancer part, so he had to cut his career short. But I'll give Eric Berry his props. But yeah, how you feel about Eric Berry? If you remember him from the Chiefs.
I know you're talking about. He's a good safety.
Yep.
So I don't know what else to say about him. I watched him, of course. I mean, I saw him play. I don't know.
You don't remember too much of when he was playing, really.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah. So like, if I'm gonna be complete, like if I'm gonna be like complete with you guys, I would probably. Matter of fact, I wouldn't probably. I would do this. I know a lot of you guys probably feel the same way. Eric Weddle or Eric Berry, I'm sorry. I would take either one of you guys out, and I would substitute you guys for Cam Chancellor. I don't know why Cam Chancellor's not on this list. From the Seahawks, Cam Chancellor, the strong safety, the crazy. Yes. Eric Weddle or Eric Berry. I would take one of them out and I would put Cam Chancellor on the list.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Cam Chancellor deserves to be on this list. NFL, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but he deserves to be on this list. He's a Super Bowl champion. And matter of fact, I think, yeah, he's a Super Bowl champion. And he's one of the hardest hitting safeties of all time, man. Like, come on, man. Like, for what he did with the Seahawks, he deserves to be on this list. Eric Weddle, I'll give you your props, man, but to me, you have not did as much as what Cam Chancellor had did. Even though Cam Chancellor had to cut his career short, I don't think you deserve to actually be on this list over him. Eric Berry too. I respect your game and what you did for the Chiefs and stuff like that, but you did not do what Cam Chancellor did. You guys do not deserve to be on this list. That's just my state of mind. I'm just keeping it real. I feel like Cam Chancellor deserves to be on the list besides you guys. Like, you guys do not need to be on the list over Cam Chancellor. Now, maybe if they would have did something and had, like, where the DB stuff is that I'm looking at, but I won't get into it yet because I'm going to skip one of the safeties if I do. Maybe Cam Chancellor should have been at where the DB position is. But I feel like the DB position is given to the slot receiver. I mean, not slot receivers, but the slot corners. So I can't even put Cam Chancellor in that position. So now, after I just said that, Eric Weddle, I don't have anything to say about you besides you were a good safety for the Ravens, but you weren't as good as a safety as Cam Chancellor to me. But now let's talk about the one and only my man Earl Thomas, the one of the most consistent safeties and one of the best safeties in the league. I feel like Earl Thomas does deserve it. Like I said about Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas was in that Legion of Boom, which made that Seahawks defense go above every other defense, and he won a Super Bowl, so he does deserve it. And anybody that knows Earl Thomas knows how consistent he was, even though he had a couple of injuries. But even with those injuries, he came back stronger and more consistent. So to me, he does deserve to be on this list. How do you feel about Earl Thomas, P?
He's a great safety. Hits hard. He can read. I don't know. He can read defense.
Yeah, for sure he can read the defense. As a free safety, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he can read defense for sure. Yeah, he can.
And another thing I want to talk about. I think Eric Weddle is a strong safety. For him to be on the list over Cam Chancellor makes no sense because I used to play safety, and for the strong safety, he was not that hard of a hitter because the strong safeties were basically linebackers. I'm gonna keep it 100. Strong safety, that position is basically a faster linebacker. Not even gonna lie. The free safety is mainly the real actual safety that is in the back of the field and that watches everything side to side, really. But the strong safety is basically, he is a safety, but more than likely he is basically a faster linebacker. That's what he is because he rushes. But he also plays in coverage, but most of the time he will rush. So, I'm just saying, come on, man. Eric Weddle, no, not over Cam Chancellor, man. Come on. The DB position, so that's the slot. That's what I'm going by because the cornerback, when I say cornerback, are the outside corners. Safeties, we know what safeties are. The two in the back of the field that watch everything. The DB position are the slots. So I'm going to go with the Chris Harris Jr. He deserves it. Really does. He's one of the top slot corners. I wish he would have came to us in the Saints because he did have us as one of the teams he would come to, but he decided to go to the Chargers. I can understand the Chargers defense is very nice. When I mean very nice, they are very nice when healthy. Joey Bosa, him, and Darwin James, that's going to be crazy. But yeah, Chris Harris, he deserves it. Super Bowl champion, deserves it. How you feel about Chris Harris Jr., P?
Who do you play for?
He played for the Broncos. You don't know too much about him? If you don't know too much about him, you ain't got to say nothing about him, man. But yeah, for sure, to me, he was good. He was a good corner.
Look at his stats right now, though.
Yup. See, that's the thing too. When I upload these type of videos, I'm gonna bring you stats. But like I said, I will skip past positions I don't know too much about that I never played or that I really just don't know about. So you gotta just work with me. You see his stats, bro?
I did, yep. He had 20 interceptions.
See, 20. And then also, like I said, put the Super Bowl champion in there. He's one of the reasons they won that Super Bowl on that defense side. All right, now let me go to the Honey Badger. Now, I will give this to him, bro. This man has, I'll say, top swag in the league as a DB, man. Besides Jamal Adams now. He a hard hitter for his height, too. He's only 5'9", and he's a hard hitter, bro. As a safety, bro. Like, they'll put him in the slot, or now he's back there at the little strong safety, free safety. They move him around, bro. Like, for you to be able to get moved around at any position as a DB, bro, that's amazing, bro. That means your coach really believe in you, bro. And for that to happen, man, I got so much respect for him. And for the story, if you guys ever look up Tyrann Mathieu, his story, bro, what he went through in like college and all that stuff, man, go watch that. For real, go watch that. He has a great story, man. But yeah, man, from the Cardinals and stuff, he was crazy on the Cardinals. Not even gonna lie, him and Pat Pete was crazy on the Cardinals. But I'm glad he went to the Chiefs, man, because as you've seen, he went to the Chiefs and made that defense way better. And guess what happened? They won a Super Bowl. So he deserves to be on this list. And I feel like every year, mainly, past 3 years, basically, he was in the discussion for Defensive Player of the Year. I know for sure he was in the discussion for Defensive Player of the Year this year. So for sure, yeah, he deserves to be on this list, man. How you feel about the Honey Badger, Pete? You hear me, bro?
Well,
Yeah. How you feel about the Honey Badger?
like you said, he's a beast. I don't know what else to say. I watch him too, but like you said, he's great. He's a great hunter for his honey.
See, he feel the same way. But man, I'm not even gonna get on the specialist because I do not know that much about like the punt returners and the kickers and stuff. I'll say that's all right. I think Justin Tucker and Stephen. I'm not even gonna say his last name because I ain't gonna mess it up, bro. But I think Justin Tucker played for the Ravens and Stephen played for the Patriots, so I'll give that to them. Darren Sproles, you got my respect, man, because you were a Saints. You were on the Saints, man, and you were crazy when you were with us, man. We had you back there at punt returner and all that, man, and you were one of our running backs, so you have much respect from me, man. Devin Hester, I'll give you respect too, man, because you were one of the fastest people back there. Tyreek Hill, you're up and coming, great, man. Real talk, man. But me and my bro Peter P, we are out, man. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, man, and let me know what videos you want to see, man, or if you want to see more of these, man. But your boy Ghetto Casper is out, man.